philosophy when it comes to what it is to actually be a drummer for a band and how to approach drums as a musician, right? So I guess I'll talk to you about it now. The one thing that we often hear as drummers is that we need to find our voice on the drums or do some sort of soul searching to find the way that we're going to play on the instrument, right? And that makes it exceedingly difficult to actually find your voice because there's no real method to that. I'm sure you know this, like given that you play bass and that you play bass, play clarinet, play all these instruments. If you've ever felt that like imposter syndrome or that sense of insecurity on your instrument.
Yeah.
Right? And one thing that
it takes a long time to start sounding like yourself.
Right? It does take a long time for you to start sounding like yourself. But there's no, you see, the analogy that I can draw to this, something that I've always thought about is that much like speaking a language, right? Let's just hypothetically say you and I have the exact same IQ, all right? And I was really interested in fiction books and creative writing and art and those kinds of things. And you were really interested in logic, you studied rationality, reasonable thinking, and you went down that logical pathway of how to articulate your thoughts. If we were going to try and make the same point, we would articulate our points completely differently, but they would both be completely intelligible. We would both understand where we were going and how we would get to that point, but we would just get to it in a different way, all right? Now, the reason that I think this analogy is relevant is because it's how you've developed your voice, it's how you've developed the way that you speak that is actually getting you to articulate your thoughts in a certain way. The same way that when you sit down on your instrument, on drums or bass or whatever it is, what's actually necessary is for you to develop your voice. Not to sit down and search some mythical realm of finding a voice. It's how you develop. So it's really important, I think, to study different musical genres, actually practice your drums. And the way that you get better and find your voice, and why it takes so long for you to find your voice, let's say, is because you have to practice.
Get stuck in the process.
Exactly, and enjoy it. Enjoy that process.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's a curiosity. I think you mentioned the same IQ. For me, I find you can have two people of the same sort of IQ or aptitude, but the one that's more curious and more interested and hungry is definitely going to learn a lot more, a lot quicker, a lot more in depth, like really come to grips with what they're learning.
Yeah, it comes from that sense of drive, is what really drives you to want to achieve, to be better. I mean, you see it with business people. They get driven to make as much money as humanly possible, and then you get people like me and you who love music, and it's really enjoying the process. That's where the drive comes from, to improve. And to make beautiful music, and to move people, make people dance and that. Yeah, this is the thought that I had, and I thought it was like interesting. So shall we get back to setting up the kit?
Yeah.
Let's start going through that pyramid for the subdivision control. You'll see that every great drummer has absolutely outstanding subdivision control. They're able to change from going from 8th notes to 16th note triplets, back to quarter notes, onto their 16th notes, back up to their 8th note triplets. They're just really good at going through those subdivision, changing the feeling of the song, right? Because that's what we really want to do. We want to make the song feel good. That's what drumming is all about.
So getting access to tools.
Yeah, exactly. Technicality is there to support our creativity, So we're going to go just on the, if you can, through it, just on the quarter note. And then we're going to go to the 8th note.
I think it's a left hand. There's a little bit of an unevenness.
Yeah. Do 4 strokes with your right and then 4 strokes with your left.
Yeah.
And then
My left hand.
do it again. Alright, so here, what we want to do, right, is first we need to work on how you're holding the stick. So grab the stick with these 2 fingers, alright, and you want to find it in its like a fulcrum position where it's kind of comfortable like that. Alright? Then wrap these fingers around and turn it. Alright, there. Now what you want to do is you want to have your hands at what do you call it? 20 to 9 or 20 past 5. Geez, I forget what we call it. But you want to have them nice and diagonal. Yeah? And then
That way. Okay.
yeah, what time would that be on the clock?
That's like
Is that 25 to 5? 22:05.
It's like 5 and 7. Yeah.
20
4:30 and 7:30.
kind of thing.
It's definitely not 30, bro, because one of your hands would be down. Yeah.
There. I mean, like, like between
Yeah,
4 and 5.
20 to 5?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, you're doing 1 and then. Yeah. I get what you mean.
I
20
guess
to 5.
you could also say 20 past 7.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I got it.
And then try use your wrist more when you're making these strokes. And then go 4, 2, 3, 4, and then 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. And really focus on controlling the bounce. Don't let your pinky slide out.
Yeah, my finger on the left is sliding out, which is funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's not funny because I'm left-handed.
My preference that I play between both of them. Sometimes I'll play with a French grip on the hi-hats, especially when I'm trying to play quieter notes.
Yeah.
And then I play a lot of German grip just in general, especially when I'm doing rolls. I find it more comfortable. If you don't, it doesn't really matter. I don't think either of them are more superior than the other. I think it's just whichever one you're the most comfortable with is the most important.
I do prefer the sort of palm down a little bit.
I find it much easier to control the stick with the fingers, with the palm.
Yeah. I'm getting a twitch in my left hand. It's not
Should
just
I
me.
warm up?
Yeah. I'm really warming up. It's already more comfortable.
Good. Now let's go through some different groupings with this new. For that pinky, yeah?
On the right hand.
Yeah, on the right hand.
That's funny.
And focus on the position of your hands. Remember, we want 20 to 20 past 5.
What is the function? What does it really do? Just like stabilize?
It
or?
stabilizes the stick, but your smaller muscle groups, right? So this is something that's really interesting. The smaller muscle groups are able to move the fastest, right?
Of course.
So getting your pinky in there actually allows you both to have better control of the stick
A little bit more speed.
and I would say fractionally more speed. It's just important to make sure that your stick is controlled, right?
Yeah.
Because what you'll find, and what I still find to this day, is when you play, sometimes one of your sticks will kind of make its way forward, right? If you're not focusing, and just having that pinky in there really stabilizes it. It minimizes that,
Yeah, it's the same with cello. The pinky tends to slide off, but it really actually does a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll commit to keeping it there.
It's proper technique.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Then, shall we try and get a little bit more speed on this? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on a metronome and we're going to try and do this with the hand, all right? And we're going to do it in the subdivision. So we'll go 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. obviously with the left hand as well. I'll put the metronome on a little bit slower, so
Would you do it together or
one
at a time?
Yeah, just one at a time, alternating. Alright, so let's start with the one, right hand, left hand. Alternate.
One each side.
Yeah. That's good too. Three. Four. Keeping nice and consistent. Close your eyes, it should just sound like it's the same hand hitting over and over again. Back down to three. Very nice, good transition.
That's a good five, eh?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. 4, 5.
I like it if it's on the.
That was really good.
It was like groovy. I love a 5-2.
That's nice, man. Alright, now let's just run through our basic movements.
Yeah.
So we'll go through singles, doubles, paradiddle, 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 singles, singles, doubles, So the most common thing for us to think about when we're doing paradiddles is either an 8th note or 16th note, right? But you can do paradiddles in 8th note triplets as well, right? So you can, let me just take a seat for a second, please. If you take the paradiddle, I'll just give it the beats, and you've got your yeah, it's paradiddle stays. Right, left, right, left, right, left, 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 right, left,
But you're keeping the same sticking but accenting the first of the three in a way.
Yeah, I'm keeping the same sticking, but I'm going just into a triplet, into an 8th note triplet, rather than into just straight 16th notes. But that's advanced stuff. So that's what.
I don't know if I have a muscle memory for that. That'd be fun to try.
Give it a try. We can do it to the click, so you don't have to keep it triangle. Very nice.
Once I almost fall into it, it goes right.
Yeah, it's difficult to get comfortable with.
Got it. Nice. I'm still cheating by putting the accent on the first of the paradiddle. So.
What do you mean? If anything, that makes it more difficult.
I'm actually just like,
because that's like doing a 4/3. That's like doing a 4/3, probably with 4/3.
But so I'm lacking the physicality to actually move that, right? body doesn't want to do the accents in the. This is a great feeling.
Yeah, it's a good little exercise. And it's good to
I'll
do
spend some time with that.
It's good to do this with all the rudiments, you know, right? If you're doing a 6-stroke roll, the 6-stroke roll is commonly felt in the 16th note triplet feel, right? I mean, whenever I go and I play a 6-stroke roll in a song, I just kind of naturally transpose it into the 16th note triplet feel.
Yeah.
But it's such a great exercise to then take that same 6-stroke roll and just play it either as straight 16ths or as 32nd notes, and then start building something with those. It's a fantastic thing to do, and it really encourages that subdivision control.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly the. I want to trust my body to do what I'm thinking of.
Well, you've already got such a fantastic sense of rhythm, and you understand subdivision from obviously playing bass, playing clarinet. You know these things really, really well.
I do know.
You're welcome.
So
it's evident that
it's
you
easy to
feel
forget.
it.
It's easy to forget like how much skill has actually gone to learning something so simple.
You know what's quite crazy is you're coming at drumming from a somewhat unique perspective. It's very rare the way that you're approaching drums, being that you've already got a really great knowledge of rhythm. You've already got a fantastic knowledge of music and theory and all those kinds of things. And like I was saying earlier, what a lot of drummers really lack, and what I lacked for a really long time, was that ability to just like feel the music, to know what I want to do in that music, to know just how these kinds of things sound before I start playing them.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
I'd have to sit down and figure this stuff out, but having that prior knowledge is gonna enable you.
Exactly.
So
I can almost always imagine how I think it should sound, and then just get my body to get it to work.
So what you need to work on is the technique.
It's literally just the technique, and I love getting stuck in technique. But then also, like, if I'm doing a tongue fill, like the sound I want is, I'm choosing the sound most of the time, right? Like you can change the sound in a way that I try to figure out whether if I have more grip strength or if I'm faster or higher, or so it's good to know. You spoke about a 3-inch stroke, right?
Yeah, 3, 6,
3 inch,
9.
6, 9. So I get different velocities.
Yeah, and it changes the tone of
Yeah. And like, I love playing with cymbals because you have so many sounds. So on the side.
And the hi-hats especially.
Hi-hat, you have like a million sounds.
It's infinite. It's one of the things that electric drums have still yet to replicate perfectly, is the amount of sounds you can get from a hi-hat. Yeah, and then you take the stick in the left hand. Give it a try. Give it a try.
Pads for under.
Yeah, bit tough that one.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just those are obviously just the warm-ups. Those things are the great things to practice. Yeah. Let's move on.
I feel so alive. My forearms are like on fire.
Yeah, it's great to start out with those things. So here's what we're going to do. Let me demonstrate quickly for you what we're going to look at. We're going to take a standard groove here, a nice normal rock groove that. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the ostinato that we're playing on the hi-hats. You know what ostinato is, obviously. Yeah. So first we're going to go just straight onto the quarter note. Go off beat. Then we're going to go on the beat, 8s. Accenting. Then we're going to go 8, accent that's a lot to remember. So what we'll do is we're going to go on the beat, off beat,
Down accent.
eight,
Off accent.
correct?
16.
And then we do 16. And then 16 off.
We gotta do fills as well though. We have to. I like to do those fills. I
Yeah.
can nail those.
It's the
I got the basic ones like a do. But
yeah. If you want your fills to go from sounding like this, the
that's the fill I want.
that exact line.
Yeah, that exact one. Copy paste.
Again, that is just it's mostly just linear patterns, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
singles, diddles, and throwing your kick drum into the fill. They're much more basic than people actually give them
Yeah,
credit.
yeah.
It's simple yet like
Yeah, and I'm incorporating all the rudiments that I've learned. So lots of paradiddles, inverted paradiddles, double paradiddles, but the stickings that I'm
simple.
choosing
It's simple movement patterns, but it sounds way more
complicated
than it really is. Yeah.
which can also be a problem because sometimes you want to use the complexity to actually sound simple. Those are really, you learn those technical aspects to make the complicated stuff easier.
I was watching your hands when you did the first cross one, and you would literally just, it was so predictable what your hands were doing, but where you were going was not.
Yeah, the orchestration of the choice.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like
All right, let's do that.
the extra.
You can do it if you want.
I think it's trickier with the space. I leave that space. I keep wanting to add it. You see, it's stuck.
Offbeat. Do it.
No.
Do it.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. One, and two, and three, and four. And two, and three, and four. And two, and three. And two, and three, and four. And two, and three. Good. And two, and three, and four. And two, and three, and four. And two, and three, and four. One, two, and three, and four. This is the part. One, two, and three. One, two, and three, and four. Good. One, two, and three, and
I
four.
missed that one.
One, two, three, and four. Let's go again. Let's start with the hi-hats and the bass drum. One and a two. Do you want me to demonstrate it one more time? Give you 2 minutes.
do it
just
one more
to-
time?
But
Yeah.
muscle memory set in a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So it's. Three, second half of that beat is just
The second half of the beat.
If it makes you more comfortable, you can do it with a side click, whatever you want. On the offbeat, 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
There we go. There we go. You had it, that's good. Let's keep it working. Got it. Nice. Got it.
It helped when you're pointing out, like, for me to actually just focus on the kick there on that.
Okay,
That's
3 and.
The and, yeah, the 3 and.
Perfect. Nice. It's fine, carry on.
At least keep something going, right?
Yeah,
Do you like that idea? Like, at
absolutely.
least
The common idea is to actually, if you make a mistake, to repeat the mistake. But we can talk about this. Nice.
I want to be able to add the other kick,
If
the
you
later
add it
kick
in-
at will, but I'm not.
If you do add it in, it's okay.
I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it.
Further up the stick.
Okay.
Like that. And you'll find the sweet spot. You know, just mess around with it a little bit. Like that sounds quite nice. Like,
I like that.
yeah, you don't want to be like on the edge. You don't want to be right here. You just want to find that sweet
Yeah,
spot.
I sometimes like this sound.
Oh really?
Yeah. But not
Whatever
for this.
sound
Not
you
for
like,
this.
man.
Not for this.
God, that fat.
This is very. It's almost cowbell. That sounds sick.
Yeah.
I like that tone. Okay, that's a proper side stick. Yeah, that's the one I want to add by choice. But now, if I do it, I'm throwing myself.
Boom. Yeah. Good.
And then be able to swap. I think that one will.
Yeah, we'll
It
get
will
this.
simmer.
See if you can do the 8
This
notes.
is the eighth note.
Just accenting on the beat.
Do you do it as a down up kind of thing? Or
Yeah,
you
so
just feel.
the easiest way to think about it, I'm going to come round for you, just so I can show you. Right, the easiest way to think about it is when you want to do the accented note to the side of your stick, like you can see I'm all torn up over here, right? And then hitting with the tip of the stick for the ghosted note. it's that same. Remember I was talking about that molar technique? How in the molar technique, right, you get your accented note from the width, and then you do the notes on the way up, and then the width again. So this is the same, a similar technique, right, where you're doing the width for the ghost, the accent, and then on the way up. Just like that. And it's also forwards and backwards a little bit. Go back to eighth. Now four on the beat. You know where we're going next? Boom. Let's carry on. Boom. Boom. I know where we're going. I know why you're doing this. Let's go back on the beat. Let's go on the beat. Off the beat. Oh, you nearly had it. You got the transition. Yeah, nice. You got it, man. You got
Almost,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, you got the
It's so
transition.
close.
Yeah.
I got the transition for sure. So cool. Like that's really cool because I could actually spend
Ages practicing this
Ages.
kind of stuff, right?
until I get it. Like once I get it, I feel like
Yeah, let me show you a couple of fun ones then. One of the ones that I've actually been working on quite recently.
4, 8, off 8, 16. Can you can do off beat off the 16s as well, accents. And you put a 4 to the floor there and you have disco music. But it helps, I suppose it helps like having so much music in my ear or in my head.
Precisely.
Like, because I can imagine where it's going to be really useful.
Yeah, and that's really what we want at the end of the day, right? Is we always want to. There's no use in knowing, and I've said this. There's no use in me knowing this, and then have no idea where to use it in context, right? A lot of the stuff. I mean, there's a famous drummer, Michael Shack. You might have seen him. He plays on an electric kit, Roland, and he plays these huge
Those
festivals. Yeah, he plays the
Yeah.
beat drums, and he does shows just by himself, right? He did a clinic here not so long ago, and I went to the clinic, and he said two things that really stuck out to me. One of the things he said is, whenever he practices, always practices to music, no matter what he's practicing. And the other thing he said is that whenever you practice and you take let's say your whole locker to the gig, you only ever really use 10% of what you know. You know, there's some things that I can play that I don't think I've ever used in a gig before. Like there's a 6-stroke roll where I substitute the right-handed diggle. So a 6-stroke roll is right, and I substitute.
Right.
It's my favorite rudiment. You'll hear me do it all the time.
Single.
Yeah, single
Okay.
and then
Two doubles in the meat.
In the meat, yeah.
Yeah.
Two doubles in the meat. So the one thing that this lick that I like is substituting the diddle on the right with the kick. many things are so rare.
And as like complicated as it sounds, again, it is simple. It's a simple muscle memory. Like again, watching your hands. But if I'm using my ears, all I'm hearing is I'm hearing like jungle drums.
Yeah.
Small strokes on the left.
Yeah.
Because that's not very important. Musically, it's not
This
that
is the
important.
rhythm.
Yeah.
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 So that's the